What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I've got a little bit different video for you guys today. I'm going to be reacting and giving my first impressions to some new LEGO Marvel sets that are going to be coming out this summer, and we just had some pictures for a bunch of them drop the other day. So we'll start with the biggest set, and that is going to be set number 76286, the Milano spaceship. It's going to have 2,090 pieces, and it's going to include 5 minifigures, 4.5 minifigures, with Star-Lord, Gamora, Rocket, Drax, and Baby Groot. Like I said, the set has 2,090 pieces, so it's going to be a pretty big set. I haven't seen a price yet. Maybe I just haven't seen the right post that includes the price, so I'm not exactly sure on the price of this yet. This Milano spaceship seems to be done in a very similar fashion to the Guardian ship that we got a couple years back. Seems to be a pretty similar size based on the piece count. Looks like it has a very similar display stand or flight stand that you can display the ship on, which I'm not complaining about because that Guardian ship is a really great set. It's a really great display piece. I've got it in my display case back there. One of the main things that I think this Milano ship looks like it's going to do a little bit better is going to be leaving that interior a little more open for your minifigures to go in. I know that I have all of the Guardians of the Galaxy in my Guardian ship back there, and it's a very tight squeeze to get all the members in if you want to include Nebula, if you want to have a full-sized Groot minifigure like I have in there instead of just a baby Groot. Another thing that I really like, I mean, it just looks very accurate to what we've seen on screen. I really like the color blocking with the blue, the orange, all comes together very nicely, as well as the minifigures. I really like the fact that all of the Guardians that we do have here in this set are going to be matching with their dark red uniforms, so that's really cool as well. So the next set we have is set 76288, Iron Man and Iron Legion versus Hydra Soldier. It's going to come with 135 pieces, should retail for $20, and it's going to have 4 minifigures. Those 4 minifigures are going to be the Iron Man Mark 43. We're going to have 2 Iron Legion, or as the box was calling it, Iron Legionnaire, and then 1 Hydra Trooper. Obviously, the Iron Legion Troopers were pretty popular when they came out in that Avengers Tower playset a few years back. So it's nice to see that we're going to be getting a couple new ones in this set here. The updated Iron Man Mark 43 looks pretty good. It has a new helmet, which I know is going to be a little bit controversial. A lot of us Marvel fans still really like the old helmet style for most of the Iron Man suits, with the exception of the nano suits like the Mark 50 and the Mark 85. And I know that the other thing that people are probably going to take a little bit of an issue with is the choice to go with the single-piece helmets for the Iron Legion figures. So the original Iron Legion figures came with that old style of Iron Man helmet where the flap could lift up to reveal the face. The look of that 2-piece helmet I think looks far superior, and I think a lot of people will agree looks far superior to this single-piece helmet that they're deciding to go with for the Iron Legion this time around. But I'm sure that the prints for their bodies, for their armor, is going to be a little bit of an upgrade, so that's nice. And then we have a Hydra Trooper here, just a little goon. He has kind of that Chitauri armor that we've seen some Hydra Troopers have because they found some of the Chitauri armor after the Battle of New York, so we have that. And then we have a little piece of Fortress as our build. It's got stud shooters in the center, and then we have what kind of looks like flick fire missiles. They're obviously not going to function like flick fire missiles, but it has that same cone piece used on the end to resemble more turrets. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty popular set. I think that people are going to like that they can pick up some more Iron Legion and kind of bulk out that Iron Legion for a much cheaper price than that original set, that original Avengers Tower playset. And at $20, you know, it's going to be one of the much more affordable sets that we see coming out in the summer. So the next set we have is 76289 Thor versus SURTUR construction figure. It should cost $30, and it includes 3 minifigures, that being Thor and 2 fire demons. So we've been seeing a lot of these construction figures lately. Started with the Iron Man Mark 43 figure. We've recently seen the Iron Spider and Green Goblin from Spider-Man No Way Home. And now we have SURTUR for the opening scene from Thor 3. Yeah, pretty cool that we're finally getting SURTUR. I know that he's a character that a lot of people have been hoping we would see in LEGO form one day, so pretty cool that we're actually seeing SURTUR here. I think that going the construction figure route was probably the best in order to give him that proper scale and to make him bigger. I think that people will be excited to get a new Thor 3 minifigure. We had a couple of Thor 3 minifigures when that wave came out in 2017, I believe it was, alongside the movie. But this is going to be an updated design, and I think that one of the big things that's going to make this Thor figure stand out compared to his predecessors is that he has a new rubber cape. It's not the rubber cape like Doctor Strange has, because some of the recent Doctor Strange minifigures have also had a rubber cape, though this is not that cape. This is a new molded rubber cape that we have here. I believe we're going to see this cape later on as well with a Loki minifigure in another set. Honestly, it looks pretty good. I think that it's accurate in the sense that it only kind of tucks right over the shoulders, which is how the cape's attached to Thor's armor and to Loki's armor in the movies. So I think in that regard, it is a little bit more accurate. And I know that people tend to prefer the cloth capes just because they're not as stiff, they're not as rigid, they're a little more, flowy, and they sit a little more naturally on the minifigure. I think it's a pretty decent set for $30. I don't think you can ask for much more than that. You've got 3 minifigures. I know some people aren't going to super count the fire demons because they're just kind of skeletons. Still 3 figures. Construction figure is kind of the going rate, I would say, for a construction figure plus some extra minifigs. So yeah, not a bad set. So the next set we have is set 76290, the Avengers versus the Leviathan. This is going to have 347 pieces. It should cost $50, and we have 5 minifigures, that being Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, Loki, and 1 Chitauri. Just having built the LEGO Avengers Tower recently, I very recently finished a Leviathan build, and this Leviathan build looks very similar to it. It's not one-to-one, it's not exactly the same Leviathan build as the one in the Avengers Tower. As I'm looking at one of these pictures here on the back of the box, it looks like there's one extra midsection on this Leviathan build compared to the one in the Avengers Tower. So it should be a few studs longer than the one in the Avengers Tower, but it looks to be a very similar build as far as the build techniques to create each section of the Leviathan. So I think some people will be happy about that, not having to buy the $500 Avengers Tower in order to get a Leviathan, because this was obviously one of the most iconic creatures that we saw in Avengers 1, and I'm glad that they are putting the Leviathan in a little bit more accessible set for most people. Something else that I think people are going to appreciate about this set is the fact that we're getting this new Hulk minifigure from the Avengers Tower in this set as well. The Black Widow and the Captain America and the Chitauri, I believe, are all just one-to-one reuses of the figures that we saw of them in the Avengers Tower. And then the Loki minifigure should be a reuse of the one from the Avengers Tower, and I believe he was in the Quinjet as well. But this time, he has that rubber cape, as we previously talked about with Thor in the previous set. So it kind of seems like LEGO is moving in the direction of rubber capes, at least for, these Marvel superheroes figures. We have Thor that has it. We have this Loki figure that has it. That's 2 colors now that they're using this mold for. Yeah, I'm liking this set. I like that you get a Leviathan. It doesn't have to be in the Avengers Tower. So the next set we have is set 76291, the Avengers Assemble Age of Ultron. Should have 613 pieces. I believe this is going to cost $90, but it's going to have 9 minifigures, that being Iron Man Mark 43 once again, Black Widow, Captain America, Thor, Hawkeye, and the Hulk, plus 3 Hydra troopers. So if we go back to Avengers Age of Ultron, we have one of those opening scenes of the movie where the Avengers are fighting in this kind of snowy forest area. They're going up against Hydra troopers, and you get that slow motion shot of them all coming into the scene as they're fighting the Hydra troopers. And basically this set is recreating that slow-mo shot. I know that the price is probably going to be a little bit of an issue for some people, being that it's only 613 pieces, but it looks like it's going to cost $90. Obviously, price per piece isn't the end-all be-all, but I also think that when you're just looking at the amount of stuff that you're getting from this set, it probably isn't going to warrant that $90 price tag. Nobody's going to be able to complain about the minifigures. However, getting 9 minifigs, getting all 6 of the original Avengers, plus 3 Hydra troopers, which are army builders anyway. So, the 9 minifigures is something that definitely is nice. We had a similar thing happen with the Spider-Man No Way Home Final Battle set, where I believe that set cost $100 or $110, but it also had 9 minifigures. So when you look at it from that perspective, it makes the price seem very favorable. And when you just look at the amount of build that there is in this set compared to the Spider-Man No Way Home set, I really think that's where you're going to see that this set probably shouldn't cost what it does at $90 and should be a little bit cheaper. When you look at what you're actually getting as far as the build goes, you have kind of the Jeep, you have the terrain, you have a little bit of stuff for the Hydra side, you have a little tower that one of the Hydra troopers is shooting off of. So we once again have a Hulk figure here with the movable head and the hairpiece. This one is going to be that updated Hulk mold, but he also has an updated pants design because Hulk had new pants in Avengers 2 compared to the jeans basically that he was wearing in Avengers 1. This Iron Man Mark 43 should be the same Mark 43 figure that you're seeing in the Iron Legion set. So if you don't want to pick up this set, but you still need to complete your Hall of Armor like I do, then maybe the Iron Legion set is going to be the way to go because you'll still get your Mark 43 Iron Man in that set instead of this one. It might be the same Captain America from the 4+, or maybe it's not 4+, but I know that there was a Captain America and Black Widow that came out in a set together with their motorcycles. Definitely looks like a new Hawkeye minifigure. We had a new Hawkeye in the Avengers Tower, but that was his Avengers 1 suit, and this is going to be a new Black Widow minifigure as well. Should be a new Thor Age of Ultron minifigure as well. So yeah, getting a new Hulk, getting a new Thor, getting a new Hawkeye. Technically, it's a new Iron Man as well, new Mark 43. Obviously, it's being reused in the Legionnaire set, but new Iron Man. And then Cap is the only one really that we're not entirely sure of, at least I'm not entirely sure of yet. But we're getting at least 5 new minifigures in this set, at least 5 new versions of Avengers in this set. 9 total is obviously going to be a really big selling point for this set. $90 still feels like a little bit of a tough pill to swallow when you're looking at as much build as in this set. But yeah, I'm sure that this is still going to be a really good seller. Super easy way to pick up all 6 of the Avengers. So next up is set 76297 Dancing Groot. This is going to have 459 pieces and 0 minifigures. And I'm not 100% sure on the price for this one yet. I haven't seen it on the posts that I've seen for it yet. And this is Baby Groot when he's in his pot and he's regrowing. Seems like Lego Marvel really loves to give us Groot stuff. We had the Baby Groot buildable figure, we had the Venomized Baby Groot buildable figure, and now we have the Dancing Groot buildable figure as well. It's a different version of Groot, so I guess that's okay, but I don't really think anyone was asking for this right now. I think it would have been cool to get another play set along the lines of the other sets that we've seen. Looks like he's going to have a couple of accessories. He's going to have some sunglasses that you can put on him, and he's going to have the headphones that you can put on him as well. And it looks like there's a little bit of a function where there's a crank in the back of his flower pot, and if you spin the crank, it will make him sway from side to side and make his arms move, so it'll actually make him look like he's dancing. So that's actually a pretty cool little play feature. It looks like it's also going to have some different display tiles that you can put on it. So it looks like there's a Guardians of the Galaxy tile, maybe a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 tile, and then an I Am Groot tile. It is cool, it is cute, but at the end of the day, I just think that there was a lot of other stuff that they could have done to fill this slot. And the last set we have is 76293 Spider-Man 2024 Advent Calendar. It's going to have 246 pieces, and it should cost $45. So as far as the minifigures go, we're at least going to have a Green Goblin minifigure, a classic Spider-Man minifigure, a Miles Morales and Christmas sweater minifigure, a Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider minifigure, and what looks like a classic Venom minifigure. So we're going to have at least 5 minifigures in here, just based on some of the builds that we can see on the box. It looks like we're going to have a drum set for Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, like we saw her playing the drums in the Spider-Verse movies. Looks like we have a little fireplace with some stockings. Looks like we're going to have a little computer and a desk. Maybe that's like a gaming computer. We're going to have a Green Goblin glider that is pulling what looks like a sleigh. I'm only going over what I can see on the box. I'm not necessarily scouring around to try and see what all of the individual builds are. I don't need to know that right now. We recently had a Guardians of the Galaxy themed advent calendar, and I feel like that one was pretty solid. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what all we're going to get from this Spider-Man advent calendar. So yeah, that's my reactions and first impressions to these Lego Marvel sets that we have seen new pictures of. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to let me know that you liked it in the comments, and I'll make sure to keep providing these reaction or first impression videos whenever we get new stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, Make sure to subscribe so you're always locked in for future videos. And until the next one, I'll see you then.